Have you ever stopped to ponder, what does it truly mean to love as a Christian? This is not a simple question, and it invites us to explore the depths of what love means within the Christian faith. In many ways, the concept of love from a Christian perspective transcends the conventional understanding of love as just an emotion. It's a profound commitment, a selfless act of will that seeks the highest good of the other. It's a love that is patient and kind. It does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. These are not my words, but the words of Apostle Paul in his letter to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. This passage beautifully captures the essence of Christian love. It's a love that is unconditional, forgiving, and self-sacrificing, emulating the love God has for us. It's a love that is active, not passive. It's a love that is shown in deeds, not just in words. It is a love that is patient and kind, not envious or boastful. It is a love that is humble, not proud or rude. It is a love that is not self-seeking, but seeks the good of others. It is a love that is not easily angered and keeps no record of wrongs. It is a love that rejoices in the truth, not in evil. It is a love that always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. At its core, Christian love is about imitating the love of God, who is love himself. It's about letting his love flow through us and out to others, transforming us and our relationships in the process. Understanding Christian love starts with knowing its source, which leads us to our first point, loving God. So, how can we love God, the invisible creator of all things? Well, let's delve into that. The concept of loving God, as outlined in the Christian faith, is beautifully encapsulated in Matthew 22:37. This verse emphasizes the command to love God with all our heart, soul, and mind. It's a profound call to wholly commit ourselves to Him, to place Him at the center of our lives, and to love Him with every fiber of our being. But what does this look like in practice? How can we show our love to an invisible, infinite being? It may seem complex, but in reality it can be broken down into simple, everyday actions. One of the most tangible ways to express our love for God is through obedience. This isn't a blind or fearful compliance, but a joyful adherence to God's guidance as a demonstration of our love and trust in Him. It's about aligning our actions, choices, and desires with His teachings, striving to live a life that reflects His goodness and grace. Worship is another powerful way to show our love for God. Whether it's through songs of praise, moments of prayer, or simply acknowledging His presence in our daily lives, worship is an intimate expression of our love for God. It's a celebration of His greatness, a recognition of His love for us, and a heartfelt response to His goodness. Additionally, spending time in His Word is a profound act of love. By immersing ourselves in the Bible, we align our hearts and minds with God's. We learn about His character, His promises, and His love for us, which in turn deepens our love for Him. It's like spending quality time with a loved one. The more we know Him, the more our love for Him grows. All these actions, obedience, worship, and spending time in His Word, can be considered acts of love towards God. They are ways we can actively express our love, honor Him, and deepen our relationship with Him. Loving God is the first and greatest commandment, but it's closely followed by another. But we'll touch on that in the next scene. Stay tuned. The second commandment, as important as the first, is to love our neighbor. But who is our neighbor and how do we love them? In the Christian context, our neighbor is not simply the person who lives next door to us. It's a term that extends beyond geographical boundaries, beyond our family, our friends, or those we share common interests with. To truly comprehend this, we turn to the parable of the Good Samaritan in Luke 10:25-37. Here a man is left beaten and robbed. A priest and a Levite pass by, choosing to ignore the man's plight. Yet a Samaritan, someone from a group despised by the man's own people, stops to help, showing love and compassion where others did not. This story illustrates that our neighbor is essentially every person we encounter. It's the colleague at work, the cashier at the grocery store, the homeless person on the street, the person of a different race, religion, or political belief. Our neighbor is humanity in its entirety, and we are called to love them all. But how do we show this love practically? Well, it can be as simple as serving others. This could be volunteering at a local charity, helping a colleague with a difficult task, or simply lending a listening ear to someone who needs it. Love is also expressed through forgiveness. It's about letting go of grudges, anger, and resentment, no matter how hard that may be. Remember, forgiveness isn't just for the other person's benefit, but for our own peace of mind as well. And let's not forget about encouragement. A word of affirmation, a compliment, or even a simple smile can make a world of difference to someone's day. It's these small acts of kindness that often make the biggest impact. In essence, loving our neighbor means seeing the inherent value in every individual, recognizing our shared humanity, and treating others with kindness, respect, and compassion. Loving others isn't always easy, but it's a vital part of living out Christian love. So why does this matter? What's the impact of this Christian love? Well, my friends, Christian love possesses a transformative power that is both profound and far-reaching. It's not merely a fleeting emotion or a passive sentiment, but an active force that can change hearts, mend relationships, and even reshape communities. The Bible in the book of John chapter 13 verses 34 to 35 gives us a glimpse of this power. Jesus says, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." You see, it's through our love for others that we demonstrate our discipleship, our commitment to living out Christ's teachings. Let's consider some real-life examples of this transformative power in action. Imagine a community torn apart by conflict, where bitterness and resentment have long reigned. Into this setting, a group of Christians step in, offering not just words of peace, but actions of love. They serve selflessly, they listen empathetically, they forgive readily. Over time, their love gradually begins to heal old wounds, to bridge divisions, and to foster unity. This is the power of Christian love. Or consider an individual who feels lost and alone, burdened by the weight of past mistakes. In this darkness, they encounter someone who extends Christian love to them, unconditional, forgiving, and hopeful. This love doesn't ignore their past, but it also doesn't define them by it. Instead, it offers them a new identity as a beloved child of God. It gives them hope for a brighter future and the strength to pursue it. This is the power of Christian love. In these ways and countless others, Christian love serves as a beacon of light in a world often marred by darkness. It's not just about feeling warm and fuzzy inside. It's about rolling up our sleeves and getting our hands dirty. It's about stepping into the messy, broken parts of our world and offering the healing, hope-filled love of Christ. And that, my friends, is why it matters. Christian love isn't passive, it's a powerful force that can change the world. So, we've journeyed through the landscape of Christian love, but what does this mean for you? Let's take a moment to revisit the footprints we've left behind in our exploration. We started by seeking to understand the question of Christian love. We discovered that at its core, it's about a profound relationship with God and extending that loving bond to our neighbors. We delved into the concept of loving God, recognizing that it's not merely a feeling, but a commitment. Loving God means prioritizing Him above all else, obeying His commandments, and seeking to know Him more each day. It's a love that's deep, personal, and transformative. Then, we ventured into the realm of loving others. We explored how Christian love calls us to see the image of God in everyone we encounter. It compels us to show kindness, understanding, and forgiveness, even when it's challenging. Loving our neighbors isn't just about those we're comfortable with, but also those who are different, those who have hurt us, and even those we've never met. Finally, we reflected on the power of Christian love. We acknowledged that this love is not passive, but active. It's a love that acts, that gives, that uplifts. It's a love that can change hearts, mend relationships, and transform communities. But now, dear listeners, it's time to turn this knowledge into action. Reflect on your understanding of Christian love. How can you love God more fully? How can you extend that love to others in practical ways? Remember, Christian love isn't just a concept to be understood, it's a lifestyle to be lived. So, let's challenge ourselves. Let's strive to love God more deeply, to love others more authentically, and to let that love shine brightly in our lives. Remember, the journey of Christian love begins with a single step. Take that step today and watch how it transforms your life and those around you.